At least,
What's the difference?
we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start.
But hey, it was cheap, right? Yeah. Perfect fucking marketing for people like this. Absolutely fucking perfect.
Dining hall with the lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later.
Oh, good.
Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail by salute.
Okay.
This time, they're going to get closer than ever.
Right.
Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Scatino...
I don't know. I mean, like, the thing is, man. Let's say he eyeballed it the first time he got in a wreck. And he eyeballed it the second time he got in a wreck. He's out of eyes. Why don't we try to... Why don't we try to do a little bit of math here, you know? Like, this is like the third time. This is the third time.
Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At least,
what's the difference?
we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start.
But hey, it was cheap, right? Yeah, I hired him cheap. I mean, it is what it is.
And orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers. They're just the degrees on a compass.
God, I don't know where this
time,
boat's
the captain
going.
whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore.
Right.
The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing.
Yeah.
We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out.
Okay.
The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I love stories like this because you know that shit's gonna go wrong. And with a boat that slow, you get to watch the entire thing in slow motion. It's so good.
So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325.
Okay.
Their poor communication
Smart.
has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure.
Of course.
The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that.
Why would they do that?
330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then
fast.
turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel.
It's cool.
A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The cost... Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct collision.
Oh, shit!
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away.
I had this happen in Valheim. I fucking thought I was going over some water, and then I got my ship stuck. My longboat stuck for like fucking, I don't know, it was like a half hour, because I was thinking I had to rebuild the thing on the other side because it was stuck and I couldn't push it out because of the water kept going up and down. And so, like, I can really relate to this guy, man. Like, it happens. Now, the thing is, though, is, like, I had, like, 30 iron on board and not, like, 300 people. So, the stakes weren't as high. It wasn't a big deal that I fucked it up. You know what I mean? It wasn't 3,000? That's even worse.
3.5. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error?
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327.
Oh,
Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman.
Oh my god.
Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions.
Yeah.
The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go.
Yeah.
But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port
This is
5 before
intense.
another order is given 2 seconds
I want to know
later.
what happens.
Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe.
It's good.
But then,
They survived.
oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing.
Bro. That is not a language barrier issue. That is, I am looking down and there is a rock here and not here and you go there. Like that, I don't want to hear, that is not a language barrier. That is a fucking brain barrier issue. That is stupid. He did it on purpose. I doubt that. I don't know. We're 8 minutes into the 40-minute video, so honestly, I'm ready for anything.
8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near
8
miss
seconds?
into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit!" Collision.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. The captain. That's what you get for being an asshole. Sure the locals really appreciate them. Oh my god.
Downtown, Nordtown.
Okay.
It's day 56, playing Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
Okay.
I'm looking for this fella. I gots to find him. It's breaking my little
Oh.
heart.
I'll see what I can do. I have contacts in thousands of servers
This
in
is so
dozens of
clever.
countries across the globe.
God damn.
And just like that, she was gone.
God
the only thing she
damn.
left was a calling card.
This is actually clever. It makes sense. It's funny.
Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data. But who can protect me?
We really got to step it up. Like last time we advertised for Cash App, we were like, so get Cash App so you can buy Bitcoin. Like we've really got to step this up. Yeah, like this is way better. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I got to send this to the team. We got to work on this.
Myself. When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie. Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be.
Let Jesus take the wheel. I like it.
That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead.
Oh shit.
Merry Christmas.
Jesus Christ, this is...
Go to nordvpn.com/Internet Story.
What?
For a huge discount on the 2-year.
What? That's brutal. How?
Add over. The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers.
Oh my
At
god.
the helm is panic.
Yeah, I wonder.
Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage.
Oh my god.
On connection with
all
the
hands
rocks,
on
they
deck.
lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding. 22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too, everything.
Oh my god.
The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position
This
of
is
the rudder.
scary.
Power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
Oh my god.
A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first,
Apparently they weren't watertight. That sucks. Honestly though, like the people that made this ship and that hired this guy, they were asking for it. I mean, here's the way I look at it, right? Is if you are the captain of a $500 million ship and you get but a scratch on that entire thing, it's time for a new captain. You know? It's time for a new fucking captain. Because you never know. You seen that what happened with the Titanic and other stuff too. Yeah, you're done. Okay? Yeah, there's no flex tape, no Gorilla Glue, nothing. You're fucking out.
compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem, because they contain the engines and the electrics.
How convenient.
These main generators give power to the whole ship.
500 million. Blue, time for a new captain. You know? It's time for a new fucking captain. Because you never know. You seen that what happened with the Titanic and other stuff too. Yeah, you're done. Okay? Yeah, there's no flex tape, no Gorilla Glue, nothing. You're fucking out.
Compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem, because they contain the engines and the electrics.
How convenient.
These main generators give power to the whole ship. From
$500
propulsion
million.
motors to rudder to hotel functions. Pretty much everything.
Wow.
When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later,
scary.
the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage, and it caused a
Wow.
huge panic in the theatre
What a
as
magic
passengers
trick.
are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations.
Wait, are these
People
actual
already
videos?
in their cabins come out and start putting on live vests.
Oh my
Staff
God.
rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins.
Yeah, everything's totally
The emergency
okay.
generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The
This is
captain
like a
calls
movie.
Pilon, the chief engineer,
Oh my
as the
God.
ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd. Further
Okay.
increase in panic. On the bridge, an
I'll
announcement
bet.
is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout. The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room.
That's smart. You know, you just, but yeah. Yeah, everything's fine. No, this ship's not sinking. What do you mean? Well, how? Well, because there's a little bit of water in the ship. Well, so now everybody thinks it's sinking. No. Everything's fine.
He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation.
To be fair, that's technically true. There was an electrical fault. I mean, they did not technically lie. They were saying it was just an electrical fault. Now, what was the electrical fault caused by? Oh, by, you know, breaching the hull of the ship because they hit a rock and it's gonna sink. But, you know, they didn't lie. They just didn't tell the whole story.
We'll inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will
I'd be
Go
stealing
On,
everything
and
at
it's
this
very
point.
much not helping the situation. The captain calls the Costa
Getting all the
crisis
forks.
unit. Roberto Ferrarini.
Getting ready to
tells
jump
the
off the
crisis unit
edge.
that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages,
Get
and
ready
that
to
they
shit,
are
dude.
also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine.
Oh my
You know,
god.
hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Oh
A
shit.
panicked passenger senses that something is off.
I
This
wonder
isn't like
why.
any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise, and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts
It's
the-
like, how could it fucking shit's just flying down? It's like, this is straight up out of the Titanic. It's like, hey, since when does an electrical outage cause the ship to turn sideways? This is actually like a fucking... This is whenever you really need a Karen to call the fucking manager. This is an actual Karen, yeah.
daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police.
Yeah.
And the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually,
Shit.
2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own
my
initiative.
God.
The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations
is
that I do
scary.
not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I've got to go. The harbour master.
Are you kidding me? That's so bad. That's so bad. Copium? Yeah, that's... I mean, I can see them not wanting to have a panic, but like, there are times whenever you should panic, and whenever your ship is sinking, I think that is an acceptable panic time. Like, oh my god, the ship is sinking.
Master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pelon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. Jesus. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions, like, is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is. The captain was essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again.
Is the water gonna go away?
Finally, he says, the ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he needs help. Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue.
Oh my god.
With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad and they are not going to improve.
Jesus.
The Coast Guard orders every
You know what's so
available-
terrifying about this? Is the fact that the video was only 17 minutes in. Like, isn't that so bad? Whenever you reach, like, you know, oh, the movie, it can't get any worse, and it's fucking like 1/3 into the movie. Oh, shit.
Ship to the sea. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control.
Return to your
Please return to your
cabins?
cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge. Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pelon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he
This is a
orders the engine
$500
room to
million
evacuate on
ship.
his own. The captain says, no, stay. We're leaving. So what do? General emergency?
I feel like this reminds me of whenever you see somebody do like a really, really complex fucking combo in like Street Fighter or something, where it's like fucking 18 buttons long. And like, instead of this being buttons, it's like mistakes. This is like a fucking 18 mistake combo to sink the ship. It's like one mistake would have been alright. They would have been fine. But it's just like one after another. Ultra combo. Fucking activating Ultra Instinct for the maximum fucking effect.
The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandon ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The
Yeah.
Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pelon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going.
Yeah.
Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic.
Oh my
And now that
god.
they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off.
Oh my
The
god.
patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily.
Jesus.
So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver
Are you
it
kidding
onto
me?
shore." They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard
Are you
anchor.
kidding me?
So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless.
Jesus.
The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold.
Yeah.
As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers.
Dude, this guy's a fucking badass. That guy's a fucking dude. That is, wow. God damn. That's a Chad. Yeah. What the fuck? That just makes me think of fucking Ted Cruz. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Why can't we get one of these guys? Shit.
Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri Kostidis and Silvia Koronica leave with him.
Oh my
The maitre
God.
d' and Samor can both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south.
Oh my God.
Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats.
Jesus.
The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That
They
means
should have done the Windows update. Yeah, it does that.
from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water.
Oh my
Passengers are
God.
scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to
Oh
pick
my
them up.
God.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He's not allowed to make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter,
What a
faster
bitch.
model, sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final
But
rest.
you could, the thing is, like, yeah, what a bitch. But you could, like, that's the kind of girlfriend that you want. Is like, she knows that her boyfriend, this is probably the biggest fuck up he's had. And she's there and she's got his back. And she's like, we gotta have as little people record this as possible because my boyfriend is probably about to get his ass beat. Like, really, I mean, that's a lucky guy. Well, not, I mean, you know, not that lucky, right? Because, you know, you look at the ship, but with that, you know, with the girl, yeah, it's all right.
in place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain
Loyal,
because he's
yeah.
just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore.
Jesus.
From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate.
That's
But they
sad.
say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara.
Wow.
And among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact,
I
the police
wonder.
chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing.
Jesus.
A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour.
That's
He speaks
nice.
to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour.
That's actually the first understandable thing. That's honestly, that's what I would do. Like, I would be done with it, man. I would be fucking done with it.
The master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life.
I would hope so.
Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid.
Good.
He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
Well, he's right, except for the people that are still on the ship. Well, yeah, I mean, besides the people that were still on the ship, he was the last one to leave the ship. I mean, that's true, isn't it? It's just a matter of perspective.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director. In the cabin, safe but shivering, they where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
Well, he's right, except for the people that are still on the ship. Well, yeah, I mean, besides the people that were still on the ship, he was the last one to leave the ship. I mean, that's true, isn't it? It's just a matter of perspective.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director. In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Oh my god. This is like... Oh my, this is like in Rust or something, dude. Like, this shit's fucked up. Ghost hunting time? Yeah, like... Who wants to bet? Like, whatever. Like, I guess I'll find out. I'll talk about that later. Wow. Oh shit. That is crazy, man. They're rebuilding
this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point. What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward.
Yes.
But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle.
Okay.
Let's dive in.
There they are. The deets.
That's some real production quality, okay? I like that. That was an investment of like probably $8. Looting. My man. All right.
Loot box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings.
Dude, can you imagine how fucking badass that would be? To sail out there with your boys, trying to fucking salvage a fucking shipwreck ship with like a casino in it? Dude, that's some straight up pirate shit. Like, honestly, like, that might sound fucked up, but my mom said that she was so glad, like this last year, right, whenever all the looting happened, she was so glad that it wasn't 10 years ago. And I'm like, why is that, Mom? She says, because you'd be looting. And years ago. And I'm like, why is that, Mom? She says, because you'd be looting. I mean, look, dude. Like this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to do something crazy like that. You guarantee that people would have been fucking doing it.
And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone.
Oh my god.
Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists.
Oh my god.
As well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who the
Dude, can you imagine the dude that has this in his house? Can you imagine the dude that has this in his house? And you guarantee he probably watched this fucking video, man. And he sees it, he fucking... Oh my god. Wow.
Who steals a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught
Look, they didn't
inside the
get paid
fancy
enough.
suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing,
Oh my god.
thieving, and pinching. Later
That's
on,
no winner,
stolen
winner,
as
chicken
well as
dinner.
legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
That dude, that is such fucking, that is like so American, that's like some fucking American Psycho shit, dude. Who the fuck buys that? Who the fuck buys that? I don't even understand. With a watermark? Yeah, there's... Yeah, it's probably a watermark on all of them.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Wow. Cancel culture, guys. Can you believe it?
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Dominika Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have some...
Here's the thing, right? Is like this is the thing. If you've ever been in like an office, any girl that's like a 5, right, is automatically like an 8. Like if there's like one girl there, you know, it's like automatically scales up. And so this dude's out at sea. I mean, because you know he's obviously not paying attention to sailing the ship. So what else do you think he's doing?
Something with him, it's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Damn.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card.
This is before they had Twit Longer, so she had to post it on Facebook.
In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package.
Oh, what the fuck?
And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
Damn, who would have ever fucking guessed that? Who could have ever fucking imagine it being drugs. Wow. That's a shock.
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs.
Smart.
As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash.
Smart.
He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship.
Oh,
Okay,
what?
wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here?
That must suck, dude. Whenever you're like dating a captain and you think that you're like part of like, you know, the in group, and then the ship starts sinking and they don't have room for you on the escape helicopter. Man, that's some fucking... That is what you like to call a reality check. That's a fucking reality check right there.
Oh, right. Sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up.
Yeah.
But they continued denying it.
Nah.
Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally,
Jesus.
she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
Boom.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? Citino cheated on his wife with Seymour 10. Oh my god!
Wait, he was married? I don't know why I didn't expect that. I that one just kind of like fucking, you know, he was married. Yeah, is his mistress? I didn't really think of it like that, you know. Is mistress what you call like a girl that a dude is? I thought it was like homewrecker or some shit, right? No, I didn't even know that. Side chick or something like that. I didn't even know it was a mistress. I thought that was like some fucking domination shit. Yeah, I thought it was like domination. Why not two EZs? I mean, I don't know about that, dude.
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover.
How convenient.
Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I
The laugh is whenever she realized she was saying something that was fucking stupid. And she knows it's like, ah, fuck. You know, I really wrote myself into a corner with this one, you know. We'll see if she goes down. She goes down with her ship like the captain did.
to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
If she wanted that much attention, she should have just streamed on Twitch. Oh, they gotta drag her. That's good. That's real cute. Oh, wow.
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god, not again.
Oh no. Oh no. This girl's like COVID for ships.
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Only?
Don't beat.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings,
Yeah.
and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
How much does it cost to go on a ship like that? How much money is it? Is it a lot or not? It's like $2,000, $3,000? Is everything paid for while you're on the ship, or do you have to pay for things while you're on the ship? It's a week-long trip. Yeah, I guess like 2K, like if it's like especially under 2K for like a week-long trip, and like I could see where that would be worth it. I'll tell you one thing, man, I'm gonna stay on land. Really, like I never would want to go on a ship, especially like out in the ocean. You think about that. Have you seen a shark? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, why tempt fate?
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident.
Smart.
I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult for what these poor passengers went through.
This
we
is
think
the
that
attorney.
The compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members.
Dude, that must be one of the best things about being rich, is if you get so rich, you just have to pay a fine. And the thing is, like, most people are dumb. So if they hear, like, oh, they had to pay $1 million fine? Well, serves them right. I knew it. Idiots. No, really, that's oh my God. It's a drop in a bucket.
Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been
It's like if you bought in WoW for fucking 3 months and they ban you for a week and they let you keep the gold. That's what it's like.
To avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much.
Yeah.
Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
That's good. Where's the mafia? That's a mistake.
New York attorney Peter Rene traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Rene & we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. And
really?
And while on the job,
this is the one people told me that they were fucking. Somebody tweeted this shit at me. They said that I was in a video. What does that shit say? Asmongold's take on Carson drama. Uh-oh. Oh, man. That was a spicy one, huh?
Job,
That's
a seventh
crazy.
case cropped up
got
via
mail.
email. An elderly woman, a loner, said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
so Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story.
Uh-huh.
Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious.
Yeah.
They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket.
Yeah.
Elena said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
What?
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going.
I actually really like seeing guys like this because it makes me feel better about my own hairline. But honestly, like, you see a dude like this. You see a dude like this with that hairstyle. And if he tries to sell you anything, you don't fucking buy it. You don't. Like, that's the same. Those are the people that I was saying, like, you look at your phone, you never make eye contact. You're no better, though? Yeah, I am, because I brush my hair forward and not backwards. That's why I'm better than him.
I'm crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey.
Yeah.
In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renee said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renee met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up.
What?
So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries.
Oh my...
Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat.
This guy's smart. Like, honestly, I'm impressed by this guy. Like, he fucking saw through that bullshit. He was on top of him.
Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
My man. My man. Hey, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. You take them for all they got.
Law firm that never sleeps. Call 1-800-664-7.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, that guy knows it. That guy's fucking on top of it, dude. What the fuck?
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course.
Get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy.
Yeah, I bet.
He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship.
That's good.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast.
Oh, shit.
When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives.
Wow.
His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility.
How about
Accordingly,
that?
shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week,
That's funny.
others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? He'd been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss
Yeah, that guy looks like a guy that fucking get upset about that shit. Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a guy that fucking get pissed off about that stupid shit. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Looks like every main character looks like an idiot. Looks like an idiot gets mad over somebody else doing something good.
No, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers, and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said buenas noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
That's a come up, man. Is he gonna walk into it? Okay, here we go. Here's the fun
The day
part.
after the disaster, Scatino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area.
Uh-oh.
While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Hold on, I got it.
It just keeps up, man. This guy doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't give a fuck. He does whatever he wants. Oh my god.
Content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court.
Good.
And all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
Oh, shit.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house
all
arrest.
ratted his
Not
ass
a bad
out.
deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own.
Oh, fuck.
Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge. That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn. And he said, Lamau XD, because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again. And he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then
That's impressive.
Look, we don't have time to
That's fucking
relitigate the whole
impressive,
trial.
dude.
So let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty!
Fuck him.
Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins.
All right.
And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected. So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time.
That
The
sucks.
prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
Damn.
Said I will not be making any comment.
Oh, that hurt. What the hell?
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012.
Wait, why didn't they just make a new ship? Like, maybe I don't get this, but like, if it costs that much money, why don't they just make a new ship? They can't leave garbage in the ocean. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would probably piss everybody off. Like, you just go outside and you're like, man, I have this nice beachfront home. Oh, there's this ship that fucking sank 4 years ago. There's some seagulls on it.
They first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around.
Wow.
In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform.
Oh my god.
The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more.
Wow,
The
that's
sponsons
impressive.
were then
They
attached to
figured
the
that
side
out.
of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially
it's kinda
above
dirty,
water,
though.
and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons, and compressed air was pumped in to lift
Yeah,
the ship.
it's pretty dirty.
And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin.
Oh my god.
That same weekend of the towing, Scatino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
Oh my god, this guy, at a certain point, it's just like, it's like somebody can just become such a piece of shit that you almost respect how shameless they really are. You know what I mean? It becomes so bad that it's not even bad anymore, and it's just funny. You gotta enjoy it while you can. That's true. I mean, this guy, he's making the rounds. He is. This is crazy. The end.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember
my God.
from the Costa Concordia.
This is incredible.
That sweet
Wow.
maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella, well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
What a disaster, man. What a fucking disaster.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out.
Yep.
Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy.
Ooh,
3,
more
if you've never seen the
content.
second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4, there are a couple secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5, no more 45-minute videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them. 6,
I like that.
there's a Q&A coming out next week on incognito mode. It's got a ton of detail that we had to cut for the sake of brevity, and will no doubt feature a ton of corrections as well.
Wait, there's 30? Oh my god, that's so insane. Jesus.
That's it. Thank you.
Spicy.
Oh my god, man. Like, what a fucking adventure. Watch, I don't watch the interview or the phone call with the 2 guys. What a fucking video. Like, it's one of those things where allowing him option issue. Wait, oh my god. Wait, do you think he shipwrecked it on